Hi everyone. So I'm back with another video today. I'm just gonna kind of talk about how I lost weight and what I do to maintain that weight loss. Another thing I want to add is I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor. As you guys know, I'm in the Navy and I'm not in any field of medicine whatsoever, but I have read How Not to Die, The Starch Solution. My methods and my views are backed up by scientific research that this is the best diet for preventing heart disease and for promoting weight loss. So I guess I'll start with when I first started to lose weight. Basically it was September. We were within the 10-week notice of the PRT. PRT is something that takes place every 6 months. It includes weighing in and a physical exercise portion. And the 10-week notice is basically the Navy saying, hey, you got 10 weeks to get within standards. And I was already within standards, but I was a little bit chubby, and I was just tired of it because I used to be pretty lean when I first went vegan, so I just wanted to get back to where I was. So what I started doing was I started eating potatoes, just mainly potatoes. And for some of y'all, that might sound crazy because it's like, aren't potatoes bad for you because of the carbs, and like how can you survive eating only potatoes? But it's actually been done before. There was a man in Australia that did an entire year of eating only potatoes and he lost over 100 pounds and regained his health. There's countless other people, but I can also vouch on my side of the story, which is losing 24 pounds. So I ate mostly potatoes every meal. Might sound boring, but it was actually pretty awesome because you can make potatoes, you can bake them and then you have fries. You can shred them and cook them on a skillet and then you have hash browns. And you can steam them and then mash them with like a little bit of salt and rosemary or whatever herbs that you choose, and then you have mashed potatoes. And I was basically eating that every single meal, and it was awesome. And on top of that, it was extremely affordable. 5 pounds of just any kind of potato really costs about $3 or $4 at the store. So buying 15 to 20 pounds a week that would last me for the entire week cost me about $15 to $20. I mean, I was actually spending more money on condiments for dressings and toppings than I was on actual food. Tell that to all your friends who say that being vegan is expensive, because it ain't. Why potatoes were really effective for me was because, for one, they're resistant starch, and any food that is resistant starch digests the most efficiently, and it also keeps you really full. So when I first started eating mostly potatoes, I actually was eating probably like 16 to 1700 calories per day. I guess maybe it was like the lack of flavor. Okay, no, not the lack of flavor, but maybe it was kind of like restricting the variation in my food. Kind of made me eat more intuitively. So whenever I ate, after a while, I was only eating because I was legitimately hungry, and I was stopping when I was full. So, and I think that might be part of the reason why I started to eat kind of less, and I wasn't starving myself. I feel like there's gonna be some people that are gonna watch this and say that I was starving myself. I was not starving myself. I wasn't exercising a whole lot, and I wasn't eating drastically lower than my basic metabolic rate. Like, just want to get that out there. But yeah, so the potatoes were really keeping me full, and they were really easy to digest. And also, I think just eating kind of mainly one, I think the bulk of most of my meals being just one food made it a lot easier for my body to digest. Eventually, as I started to lose more weight, I started to kind of incorporate more food such as overnight oats, which are also resistant starch, and also I would eat legumes like black beans or pinto beans. The protein and the fiber that is in beans is just phenomenal for keeping me full for a really long time. So basically the timeline of that was just eating potatoes, adding in more variations of resistant starch, as well as legumes. Another thing that I did to lose weight was I included greens in between my actual meals. And I just kind of heat them up in the microwave. If I was home, I would just steam them because I actually don't have a microwave. Eating greens is essential for weight loss. Honestly, it keeps you full. It's got very valuable nutrients. Eat your greens. Another thing that I did was low sodium, no oil, and no added sugar. Basically, I kept my sodium intake each day probably around 1,500 milligrams or less. I'd put a little bit on my potatoes with just a little bit of lemon juice, and that was enough flavor for me that I was satisfied with what I was eating. Sodium, if you don't know this, it retains 100 times its size. If you actually reduce sodium, the amount of weight that you'll see go within the first week or two is ridiculous, and that's mostly from cutting down on sodium. But you don't want to keep it under 500 milligrams because because sodium is still a required electrolyte in your body. Your cells need a certain ratio of sodium to water, or else they expand too much and then you get what's called hyponatremia. And I actually did get that on a raw vegan diet, and I'll tell you, it's really not fun. Keep it between 500, over 500, under 1,500 milligrams, and you'll be good. A lot of people have seen my videos and wonder why I don't cook with oil and why I like caramelize with balsamic vinegar and water instead of actually just using olive oil, because olive oil is good for the heart, right? No, it's not. Like, no oil, no saturated fat is good for your heart. It literally is directly linked to atherosclerosis, and it's nothing but pure saturated fat. Olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, all those oils are great in the sources that they come from, but once you extract them from the actual source, they become refined saturated fat, and that's not good for anything. On top of that, just 1 tablespoon of olive oil, just adding that to your food gives you like an extra 14 grams of fat. And granted, if you look at my recipe videos for desserts, yes, I cook with oil, but they're dessert videos, okay? Like, I'm not trying to be healthy in those videos. In those videos, I'm just trying to make vegan more approachable than anything. But if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to be healthy, oil needs to be kept at a very minimum. Another thing is, I didn't add any sugar to my food, minus I would use a little bit of maple syrup for this maple mustard dressing. It's basically like honey mustard, except for no honey, because honey's not vegan. I did not have any sugar at all. Even if it's like unprocessed raw cane sugar, it's not good for you, especially if you're trying to lose weight. What happens whenever you have any kind of refined carbohydrate like sugar, white flour, etc., it's not designed for your body, so your body gets an insulin spike, it doesn't know how to digest it or process it properly, and so instead of sugar and flour or whatever refined carbohydrates you're eating getting stored as nutrients and vitamins and energy, it gets stored as fat, so you don't want to have anything to do with any of that. Another thing that I did to lose weight was I drank lots of water. This is a 1 liter, actually no, it's 1.5 liters of water, and I would drink probably, I still do, I drink at least 2 of these per day, but you want to start your day with drinking a liter or so of water just before you even get up, because your body has been resting all night, and so you want to kind of get it moving, wake everything up, you know, before you even put anything into your mouth. That's not like, some people promote that as like an appetite suppressant. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's just your body needs water. We are 70% water, so make sure that you're drinking lots of water. I can't stress that enough. Another thing is intuitive eating. I feel like this might be hard for some people, especially if you're coming from a place where you like I did, where I didn't really have much of a control over what I was eating. I would just kind of ate what felt right. And obviously that's why I'm making this weight loss video. It's because if I had control over what I was eating, I wouldn't have had any weight to lose in the first place. So I kind of want to go over just intuitive eating. So eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. And what I mean by that, some things that you can do for that are, for one, what I went over earlier was kind of reducing, just reducing the variety in your food so you can actually pay attention to what your body needs instead of just what you want. Chew your food, take a break, put your fork down in between bites. Like, enjoy your food and feel like your food actually nourishing your body. You know, eat to live, not live to eat, because then you'll have time to actually listen to your body telling you if you're hungry or if you're still hungry or if you want more food. That's basically how I lost weight, and I hope that these are helpful to you. If anybody has any questions or wants any help at all or any kind of support, I'm going to be linking some Facebook groups in the description below that I was a part of while I was going through this journey that I'm still a part of. Please feel free to go check that out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and follow me on social media. I always try to reply back to everyone that sends me messages. If you have any questions or concerns or want any advice, I'll do the best that I can to either give you advice or point you in the right direction. I post 2 new videos every week, so go ahead and hit the red subscribe button and the bell next to it if you want to be notified every time that I upload, and I will see you guys in the next video.